Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be doing the first oil change on my 2024 Honda Grom. Let's get into it. This is what you're going to need right here. I got the regular Honda oil, just 10W30 oil filter. One thing I did forget was the O-ring, but that's fine. I'll just use the one that's on there since it's first change. You're going to need a 12mm socket, an 8mm socket, and if you're like me, you'll just need a 12mm wrench, and I'll show you why. And a pair of pliers, and whatever you want to drain it in. Can be an apple juice container, milk container. This one barely fits into there, as you see. Super fast side note, for the love of God, don't use a 12.12mm, use a 6-point, or else you'll be like me, and when it's a little over tightened, you'll round the bolt off. So I had to use channel locks to do that. All right, back to the actual oil change. And yeah, that should be about it, so let's get into it. All right, so first up, let's take the cover off to access the oil filter. This is gonna be your 8mm. A little bit of oil is going to drip out when you take this cover off, so just prepare for that. There's the oil. Not drop anything in there. So there's the O-ring that I didn't buy when I went to the Honda shop. Just kind of skipped over it. We're just going to save that one, keep it on there. And there's going to be a spring in here. Going to keep that spring. Do not lose the spring. Here's where I said you might need a pair of pliers just to reach in here and grab the old oil filter out. Throw that to the side. Not going to need that anymore. There is going to be a little bit of residual oil in there. You can tip the bike to riding position if you want to get that out. And then just take a rag and wipe up the rest that's in there if you're perfect in particular. You want to take your new filter, the side with the ring on it will go in facing the bike. And this right here even says outside, just in case you forget or so you don't notice. So your drain plug is right down here. I don't know if they all come like this, but right now mine's currently has a blue mark on it. But yeah, right here should be marked. This is where the 12mm socket would come into play, but since I'm a tool and I put an aftermarket exhaust, it does not fit in here. So we're gonna have to use a 10mm wrench and do it the hard way. And yeah, for the love of God, don't use a 12.12mm, use a 6-point, or else you'll be like me, and when it's a little over tightened, you'll round the bolt off. So, it's all right, I guess. Also just went ahead and took the cap off so it'll flow better. Don't have to, just something my dad always told me about. Always not broke, over me. Don't roast me here. I'm just trying to make a somewhat educational video for those of people that don't exactly know how to and are just looking for a little bit of help. So bear with me. Once it's draining, go ahead and lift the bike up in the riding position. Help it flow better. Good Lord, is that making a mess. Luckily for me, the Honda shop was still open, so I was able to go pick up another plug real quick, 450, and the seal I was needing. So worthwhile trip. All right, go ahead and jump ahead here. I wasn't gonna post all that. It pretty much was just me keeping the bike stood up in riding position for about 2 to 3, 4-ish minutes. We are gonna go ahead and clean this up just a little bit here. Did make a little bit of a mess. Get this sucker in. All right. I don't know, next couple might be angry now, so we'll be all right. Just getting tight. If you're looking for exact torque measurements, I think I read somewhere it's around 18, which isn't a whole lot. So you don't want to come in here and just mutilate this sucker. Like I said, just getting her pretty hand tight here, so got her tightened up. Good old pull. All right, now I can go into putting the oil filter back in. And I just saw some people do this. I guess it's not mandatory, but it seems like pretty good practice. Just take a little bit of your oil here. Hopefully you can see this on camera. And just pour it into the center and the side that's facing the motorcycle. So take some of the oil, spread it around this side, spread it around this side. And remember, this side's gonna say outside. Fit her in there, press it in. This is where your spring is gonna come back into play. Spring's gonna go in here in this little circle. All right. this part is pretty important. Not hard, just important. So you're going to grab your O-ring here, your new one. No, I said I didn't have one in the start of the video, but had a couple mishaps, and here we are. And here's your old one. If you can't get it with your fingernails, you can go grab a screwdriver, loop it under there, and just pull her off just like that. A little bit of oil on your fingers. Lube up this new seal. Alright. You're going to want to put the seal back on here. Make sure it is in that lip in there. If it's not in the lip, it won't seal right, and then you will definitely drip. Check, double check, and check again. Because if this isn't on there right, you'll know pretty shortly. I like to just hold it, hand tighten these until I can go over to the ratchet. And don't tighten these all the way on one side first. You want to keep alternating back and forth, back and forth. And now we'll just go back and forth. Finally hit the wall. It's tight. This is where we would tighten them up. Once again, torque specs for this, I'm not sure. Sorry about that. We're just going to give her a nice little hand tighten. But you don't want to over tighten, that's for sure. We're almost done here, so now what you want to do is just grab a funnel, put her in there, take your oil, go ahead and pour her in. And don't worry about how much you take. Will it overflow, underfill? If it's fully drained, it will just take one whole quart, and you'll be good. The little cap back on, tighten it down, wipe everything up. Seeing any leaks so far, we'll go ahead, turn on the bike, let the bike cycle the engine oil, and just keep checking for leaks. It's looking like we're good, so thank you guys, appreciate it for watching. Subscribe for more content.